Hey bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. Got another really great example of an everyday bike for everyday people. This came in as a pair for tune-ups, and they are in exactly the same shape with the right amount of rust, just in time for a tune-up, and they both have these weird broken spokes. The last one had 3 of them. This one just has the 1 that I can tell. Yeah, we may or may not be replacing that spoke protector. Not really sure. I don't think I'm gonna try eating this one. I just got done editing that video and God, what was I thinking? Not a whole lot to say. You know, this is a Trek Navigator 200. Originally the Navigator was part of the Gary Fisher lineup, and then they dumped Gary and went on and just stole all the cool names like Navigator. It's an entry-level comfort mountain bike, you know, 26-inch wheels. It's got the semi-slick tires. You know, I purposely take old mountain bikes and set them up just like this because I think comfortable bikes are better than fast bikes. There, I said it out loud. At least for most of you. I mean, some people need fast bikes because they become bicycle racers. This bike would not be good for racing, but it sure is good for riding around. Except it's not really working. The brakes are all rubbing because of this broken spoke. It's got some rust, needs some cleaning, that sort of thing. I done this custy dirty. I totally forgot about these bikes. I hung them up and back, and customers waiting on them. I gotta get them out, but I also gotta make some videos. So I'm gonna kill 2 stones with 1 bird here and get started while you kick back, and everything's just backwards, isn't it? Per the usual. Little and little. Disconnect the brake. We're gonna pop these wheels off and set them aside. So if we want to get at this here broken spoke, we're gonna need to pull this here freewheel off. To do that, we gotta remove this here skewer, which the spring is correct. Nobody's had this wheel off. I know that because if they did, they'd probably put the spring on backwards. The springs on the skewers go pointy side in, as one can see. Does it focus? Does it focus? It does. Anyway, 1 spring on either side. And then this is the freewheel tool. And we can put the freewheel tool in the vise. Then you get on it like this and you go chiropractor. So this spoke protector, I'm calling adequate. It's starting to yellow, which bothers a lot of you. Doesn't bother me. We'll clean it nonetheless. I should start armor-alling spoke protectors. That'll trigger the algo. This is not a camera angle I've ever used before, and usually I like to sit down, but I'm gonna hold that nipple with my finger and then twist the spoke out. And then I'm going to get the broken spoke out that way. Between the 2 of them, I can figure out what length spoke I need. I'm gonna do that with my spoke length gauge. So you put the J bend in right there, and then take your broken spoke like that, and then you read it, and you say 260. 1 and 1.46 or something-ish. Then I got a brand new spoke here. And this is my old cable cutter that I've put on spoke cutting detail. 260.7412. It's a little long. Ooh, I made it all the way across the room. Get that freewheel out of there. Freewheel tool. This is the Hosan C700 spoke threading machine. And we know from the last time I did this that we'll just go ahead and clean up the tip over here in the wire wheel. Okay, get that nice and clean. And then without a doubt, our spoke threading machine will just smoosh on some new threads. It doesn't actually cut them. I dropped some lube on there 3 or 4 spokes ago. It's still pretty lubed up. It's probably good enough. Oh, not enough. Okay, that's probably too much thread, but it's fine. You can see all the lube coming off. Okay, so this was an outbound spoke. Outbound spoke, you've been living with a not great joke. Okay, and this is a single walled rim. I just happen to know that, right? And what we're doing is we're putting that spoke in that nipple, and the nipple's being held in by the rim strip and the tube. So I'm taking a risk here. And I'm gonna try to thread this on, and you can, did you hear that little squeak? That was the head of the nipple inside the wheel there against that rim tape. And if I create too much friction, it'll drill a hole right through the rim tape and into the tube, causing catastrophic tubular failure. But I think we're getting away with it. Add a little bit of tension there. Dope. No one's gonna play the harp when I die. I suppose, awkward camera angle and all. So typically with a freewheel, we can use the donut style spoke protector. But since this is the one that came with the bike, so far it's been good enough for who it's for. We're gonna reuse it. Ooh. You know, on the other bike we cleaned this. I suppose to make the bikes match, I should probably clean this. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get the rust off of this one. Doesn't need replacement, it's just pretty much aesthetic. I'm gonna use the citrus degreaser. Just get a little juice on there. And then the speed degreaser just kind of washes it away. Then we use some compressed air. And take some Phil's tenacious oil. I guess it's just fill. Fill oil. You can put some down in here too. And it is quite tenacious. And it'll continue to tenate as time goes on. Lubenskewer, ja. Quiet this morning. Guess I don't have much to say. It's a Monday. Doesn't matter for me. Every day is the same. Normally it would just be editing. I got one edited this morning and uploaded. You know, if you're a member of the channel, if you join, click the join button. You give me a few bucks per month, monthly sustaining membership. You get a little star by your name, and but you also get to see the videos early. So that's uploading. It's probably just uploaded, and the members out there are watching it. It's a good one. For those of you that don't join, you can always just send a super thanks once in a while. That's beneficial to me. Makes me feel appreciated. Puts a little walking around money in my pocket. Go get the tacos from the taco truck, or across the street there, the tacos campechanos from El Mariachi are really good. A lot of you that come visit the shop here in Lake Mills, oftentimes as part of your pilgrimage to see the great sage on the side of the mountain, me, you'll wander over there and go get yourself some tasty tacos campechanos. I've heard nothing but positive reviews. I say they're the best tacos on the planet, but then the taco truck moved into town and their pastor tacos are really something else. That's just out there by the interstate, so you'll pass it on your way into town. I think they're associated with Fiesta Garibaldi, which is a Mexican restaurant next town over, which is also very good. Love Mexican food. Anyway, you can always send supers. You don't have to join the channel. You don't have to do any of it. You can just watch, and really grateful for your attention and the ability to make these videos and not have to depend on the day-to-day struggle of small business ownership in a tiny little town of 6,000 people that really is not a strong enough market for hardly any small business, let alone a bike shop. I can do a lot of things better, but it still wouldn't earn a living. So I've always had to come up with other ways to make money to make this thing work, and YouTube makes it work. And we're really, rescuing bicycles here and helping people out. I don't think a whole lot of people, like that middle school bike rack, I don't think it was as full before I started doing this, and now it's absolutely full of bikes. Every morning and every afternoon you see a bunch of kids. The main intersection's right here, and you'll see them. The crossing guard, letting them go across with the walkers, and anything we can do to get fewer people driving, keep people active out there. I think that's better for society as a whole, better for the individual health. Cycling is a great activity like that. And these machines are cool. I love keeping them out of the landfills, or, you know, better yet, a lot of them just hang in garages, and that's what a waste that is too, you know, like, you know, send them my way, I'll clean them up and get them going. You know, these have been sitting for a long time. This customer, I haven't met the customer yet in person. I don't know the whole story, but I can tell they've been sitting in a garden shed or a detached garage of some sort. You know, there's been moisture, I know that much, but they're not too far gone, so we'll be able to rescue them. Anyway, I guess I coulda shown a close-up of that. There's a little hop in this rim from, you know, whatever took that spoke out. Spokes rarely break in the middle like that. Usually it's down by the J-bend or right up by the nipple. I don't know, but the other bike was the same failure. So I don't know what's happening over there. Maybe the evil spoke fairy came in with their old cable cutters and did a little snip job for me. You know what I'm saying? That's a good business model. I could probably get some of those middle schoolers to go around sabotaging bikes, drum up some business, you know what I'm saying? Just kidding. Just kidding, Jesus. Y'all think I'm a crook. Well, 0.2% of you in the comments think I'm a crook. The rest of you are my best friends. Anyway, I'll just kind of crank through this front wheel. See you on the flip side. Here we are in the rear derailleur. Just kind of dropping some lube and some spots here to keep that rust at bay. Maybe if I gotta turn something, it'll move a little bit easier in a minute. But then, if you push your derailleur in, pull it in, do that, you can disconnect your cable and get at that. How's our ferrule here? All right, we don't have to do anything with that ferrule. Ferruli is how you spell it. I like to lube all the pivots and joints back here in the springs. If you kind of wiggle it just a little bit. I think John Denver wrote that song. Wrote it about his airplane joystick. Led to his demise. Apologies to the Denver family for that tasteless joke. I have no class. This is the rear one, it's still loose. The front one, if you pull out, and then you can disconnect the cable back here. All right, with all the cables disconnected, you have better access to the frame. It's a good time to polish things. Now don't go buying that expensive polish. You can just use Behold, or whatever the cheapest lemony fresh furniture polish you have at your grocery store. It's a nice little cleaner, and it leaves a little bit of a waxy film behind, so it protects your paint, really brings things back to life. This is the front brake cable, and it's about all the access we have to it, but don't forget to lube your noodles, gentlemen. You can get back in here. Get back in here. Here's the front brake cable. That one you can get real good access to. We've disconnected our shift cables so we can get some lube in there. Ooh, that is slick. Slicker than snot on a doorknob. Okay. That's in there. And that's in there. That's in there. So this brake cable here has some surface rust on it. Grab some steel wool. It's purely cosmetic. That's way more better, hey? Just a little bit of lube and a little bit of rubbing. Don't even need to leave the house. Good way to get through prison. Never been to jail. I guess I can be proud of that. Got a lot of friends that have gone for a night or two. A few others have been for longer than that. I've done a good job of staying on the fringe, but avoiding any kind of real trouble. For the most part. Get some new pads rolling here. Might as well do the fronts too. You know, Wiggle It Just a Little Bit was one of the tracks taken off of Frampton Comes Alive. He did a tremendous cover. I want you to wiggle it a little bit every day, day after day. Wow, 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 wow. I saw Frampton at one of the side stages at Summerfest once. Or I guess just at Summerfest once. They're not really side stages, they're all the stages. Not the main stage, is what I'm saying. It wasn't the amphitheater. It was good. You know, he was an old guy, but he still brought it. Saw Nuge that same year. Also enjoyed that. But man, that guy's a D-bag. But he can slay on guitar. Guy rocks. He's got to be on the Epstein list. Know what I'm saying? Actually, he's probably got his own list. Interesting thing about him is he's sober. Kind of always has been. But he admits that his real addiction was sex. The girls couldn't get enough. He's a bit of an alpha. That's why I don't like him. The rear brake adjustment on these step-through bikes can be tricky because of this big loopy loop of the cable. It gives it a really squishy feel and springs a little bit there. It's not rubbing. About as good as I'm gonna get, I think. I don't know, this pad doesn't need to be up that high. Just kind of bugging me. Okay, and like the new pads are a little bit wider profile, right? So we have to let a little bit of cable out. We can't reconnect that. These are kind of splayed out a bit, but they'll wear in to where they were. Where Just gonna push a little cable through like yow. Give her the old yabba dabba. Uh-oh. Oh, not enough. Close, but no cigar. Oh, okay. Working backwards and left-handed here. And at a weird camera angle. I'm really not doing myself any favors. All right, left-handed. Maintain camera position. A little tight yet. Left-handed. Okay, there we are. Just releasing some pressure, relieving some pressure, some tension from this side. No rubbing. The springs kind of drift a little bit. That's why I do this like 1.5 million times. And wiggle things, and you know, you just don't want it happening. You know, if today's Monday, you don't want it happening on Thursday. All right, I just have the one-step cleaner and lubricant here. Kind of douse it, and then I take a dirty rag. I'm just wiping off as much gunk as I can. Shifts really well. Still has the sticker on it. So this is a non-indexing front derailleur, front shifter. So it's just up and down. And so we just make sure that it doesn't overshift either direction. I just kind of spray lube on everything there. Crank down on that kickstand bolt. Really nice. You know, you can take a look up your bike's butt once in a while and find a little bit of filth. Probably not real dissimilar from your own butt. It's really nothing a couple drops of juice can't cure though. Talk to your local pharmacist. Mr. Bike Farmer, why do you gotta go there? And I say, how can I not? You know, it's low-hanging fruit. Oh, I always notice something right at the end here. Water bottle screws are rusty. Disgusting. Just a lot of bits of rust all over these bikes. You know, it's fine. It's just surface rust. It's not like, you know, it devalues them for sure. But they just wanted to get them running. They just want to ride around and enjoy life on a bicycle. And these bikes are perfect for that. So, mission accomplished. The war is over. All right, you know, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. This was an easy one today. Very basic, simple bike tune-up. I mean, I suspect there are a godzillion of these bikes laying all over the place in garages, hanging up from hooks, thrift shops, garage sales, all over the place. That's all they need. This one didn't even need air in the tires. Tires are full. A lot of times you can just put air in the tires and go for a ride, but if you want them working right, clean them up a little bit, lube them, make a few adjustments here and there, get them going. This one, I guess it did need some new brake pads. You know, it did need some new parts, but even that's like not that big of a deal. You can order them on Amazon. They'll be there in 2 days and you're good to go. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, congratulations. I love it. If you're not, take it to the bike shop, but you got to pay for it. I hope that these videos are entertaining and informative, and informative maybe, both, okay? Or just good, chill, sleeping material. And if you've had a nap, wake up! And congratulations, now you're back to consciousness. Go on with your day, and I hope it's a good one. Please, if you like this content and want to see more, give a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. If you want to give a little extra directly to me, you can do that by clicking the super thanks button. It's like tipping me. Send over 5, 10, 20 bucks and fill my belly full of tacos. If you don't want to do that every single video, you can join the channel as a sustaining monthly member. Right here in YouTube. Don't have to go to Patreon. You'll be the first to see the videos. I usually drop on Saturdays and Tuesdays, and depending on what my schedule's like with the editing, they come out a day or two early, and you can get it early. You'll also get a star by your name, and that entitles you to answers in the comments. You either got to be like completely unhinged and unruly and mean to me to get a comment from me, because I think it's a game and it's fun to get creative with the responses, or ask a question that I think everybody can benefit from, or pay and then you can ask your stupid questions and I will give you stupid answers. And sometimes that's very helpful. Most of the time it's not. Entitle yourself for a few bucks a month. But for yourself, the number one thing you can do to improve your life exponentially is click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.